Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back once again to Phatkat Collections. Got another amazing watch winder for you folks today, and I gotta tell you, I haven't reviewed hundreds of watch winders, and you guys know I've reviewed hundreds of watches on this channel and thousands of products. Thousands? 1,600. And I'll tell you, again, of the watch winders that I've reviewed, this one, hands down, is the nicest. And I've had some pretty nice watch winders by Mainspring and several other brands. But I gotta tell you, they really knocked it out of the park with this one. So this is by a company that goes by the name of Enigwatch, E-N-I-G-W-A-T-C-H. Looks like they were established in 1993. This is being read directly off their website. And this is what I would consider more of a higher-end watch box. There are watch winders out there that are pretty basic. There are a few that I've reviewed that I'd say are nice, don't get me wrong, but there are some that warrant the price point, some that don't. This one here is quite incredible. And let me show you what we got today. Now, they do have several different variations, and the one that I really wanted from the company is rather expensive, and so is this one. And I encourage you to always click the link in the description, check it out, see if I can get you a coupon code, I will. I think you're going to find, like most companies on the internet, that they have sales. And one thing that I find, and I've dealt with this with many different brands I've worked with, is I've asked before, why are your prices so much higher on their website than actually like where you can buy them from other retailers? And a lot of times these companies, and I'm not saying this company at all, I haven't researched the price on this where you can get it elsewhere. That's for you guys to do. But what I find is a company sometimes will keep the price high on their website to allow other sellers to actually make money on these things and discount their products. And so it's something that I don't really like that companies do. I'd rather a company kind of do what Aragon does, is they pretty much sell directly to the consumer. They're not really, I know you hear some brands out there being like, we cut out the middleman, and they're, these really inexpensive, decent, but really inexpensive, I'm not going to say low quality, but, kind of entry-level quality watches that, they're charging what you can get with other brands that in my opinion, nicer, right? And I think a lot of times, I feel like companies kind of drop the ball when they're doing this, and I just always encourage anybody, whenever you watch my video, if you want to get one of these things, is of course, if my link is the best price, buy it. Always buy from where you're going to get the most competitive price and where you're going to get, a legitimate company sending the stuff. You do have to be careful. I can assure you any links I put in here are going to be legitimate. So let's check this out. This is a beautiful watch box. Check this out. It's not really a watch box, it's a watch winder. So weight on this thing, it's quite incredible. This is not like some kind of basic low-end wood, although I don't know what it's made out of. It definitely feels dense. It has some weight to it. I'd estimate that this is over 25 pounds. Not that the weight on a watch winder has anything to do with it, but I think sometimes we all associate weight with being solid and being decent quality construction, and I think you're definitely getting this. This is not something that I feel, again, I've had watch winders I reviewed before that, you feel like if you bump it a certain way that you might separate the wood or the glue. This is not one of these particular pieces. Absolutely stunning. So the finish on this, they call a Macasa wood. It's very high gloss, really like a deep, rich piano style finish. Not to say all pianos like this, but it's like a deep black, I'd say ebony, like a really dark wood. Not quite black, and if you can see by the video, the door is actually black. So you see there's a little bit of a difference there. It's more of like a super dark brown approaching black. Very close. Looking at it from a distance, you'd say it's black. And that finish is done on the sides. It looks like the back is more of a black, but it has almost like this kind of goldish light, almost like a birch kind of color. I can't really, when we think of birch bark, we think of white. It's not like a white, and hopefully this is being represented clearly on the video. And like I always say, click the pictures in the description. During this video, you're seeing pictures as well, but it does have kind of like a tan color. Very exotic looking, and that's why I chose this one. I really liked how rich and exotic it looks. On the back, you do have some, let me just lower the camera a little bit so you folks can see. On the back, you do have some, you have a power port right here, your standard, I don't know what you call this, but it's your standard DC voltage plug. This is a 5-volt plug. You do have a power button. The buttons on this are really nice. They're on like, it looks to be like a stainless steel plate. You have a rotation button, a charge button, your input, and then the on-off button. And it is illuminated as well, at least for the power button, so you know that it's on. And I believe this thing has an onboard battery. The instructions, I'll tell you again, are, like a lot of these companies, the instructions are pretty poor, and we're gonna dig into that. So again, I think the charge button, when you press this, you're actually charging an onboard battery, and I think when you actually press the button where it's extended or it's out, or it's not pressed, I should say, you're just powering the device. When I turn it around to the front, you can see that it has like this kind of just like, it's kind of popped up on a couple of legs, and they're kind of chrome or stainless steel polished, something like that on the side. Very heavy, nice glass construction in the front, and a very nice door, very nice hinges on this. Now it does have a fingerprint sensor on the side, and we just basically press that. It illuminates green, and it unlocks the door. Inside you have a really nice kind of, I almost call it like a faux leather. It almost feels like almost like a microfiber kind of finish. There is some LED backlighting in here. I'll turn that on in a second. And then your two areas where you pop your watches in. Really nice pillows on this. You do get a couple different pillows. This is more of like a kind of a spring-loaded pillow. So depending on the watch you're going to put in here, it pops in very nice. And then if these don't work for you, sometimes you'll have like an oversized watch, or maybe, I'm not sure if you'd use this on maybe a really small watch, but you can use the pillow if the other one doesn't work for you. I found the pillow works on watches that, again, depends on your wrist size, I guess is my point. You'll just have to use whatever works best for you. Hinges are absolutely stunning on this. You can see these are almost like a 5-point hinge. I honestly, of any watch case I've ever reviewed, I've never seen that. And hinges are always kind of a weak point. This is not something that's going to break over the years. You know, I mean, I guess you can get good and bad luck with anything, but it really feels quite solid. There is a button right here, and this is I believe to be a button that turns the light on or off, and it does come with, and we're going to kind of check that out together, a remote control. Nice remote. I'm glad it's not one of the credit card remotes. I've seen a lot of companies now, depending on whether it's an audio system or you know, a streaming stick, they're getting away from those little credit card remotes, which I feel like the buttons always go out. This is really solid. Hit the button for the illumination button that turns on the light. Press it again. You turn on that, looks like an LED backlighting. It's nice because it's flushed into the sides, so when you're looking at it straight on, you probably can't see it so much in the video here because I am in front of a ring light. It's pretty bright, but it does illuminate with this kind of like, I'd say it's almost like a, I'm trying to think of the Kelvin temperature here. It's not warm white, but it's not super cool. It's more of like, I'd say 5000 K-ish. So kind of an eerie kind of glow. I really like the way that looks. Press it again. You can illuminate the display panel. This basically shows you if the LED is on. I don't know if you see that, but video went right over here. You click that. It just indicates that the LED is on. Not really necessary because you can see the lights are on. Then, of course, you have your line. And if you press the button up again, and this is the, I wish I would just put separate buttons on here, but this is like the cursor. This is not like an up or down. This is basically one function. So you press that, you just cycle through the lines. And what they mean is watch 1 or watch 2. They should have put position, but they put line. And what that does when you select like line 1, you're selecting the top watch, and then you can adjust the rotation, and 650, 1350, 2200 TPD, 1800, and 900. And if you press it again, we'll illuminate that again because it does turn off. It kind of times out. You have your direction, so you can set this to rotate back and forth, or you can set it to rotate counterclockwise or clockwise. And what else? Your on-off button as far as the rotation. So if I go ahead and press the middle button, that's the play button, you'll see that's rotating line 1 or watch 1. We can press that again and then move to 2, press to play, and they're both rotating. So that's basically how you turn these on or off or make any kind of changes. That's about it. Really straightforward. I like it. The remote, again, it works really well. Now let's talk about what I don't like about this. So what I can't figure out is the fingerprint sensor. So I'm reading the instructions here, and the instructions clearly state that you'd want to press the set button. Now I don't see a set button on here anywhere. There's nothing labeled set. So that, first off, I don't like, it's almost like, I don't understand when companies create amazing products and then create extremely crummy manuals. Now this isn't a language barrier. This is simply, there is no set button anywhere on here. Nothing labeled set. And clearly in the instructions, they tell you that there is a set button on here. So I'm assuming they mean the fingerprint sensor. When I press that, it does illuminate green and open the box. But then once the door is open, this is the instructions. New user register. To register, what they mean is to register new user. It says once the box is open, the green indicator light will stay on for 5 seconds. So we just close that again, press it. 1, 2. So it didn't stay on for 5 seconds. So that's incorrect right off the bat. If we close it again, it says clearly set button. Once the lockbox is open, click the set button. So I'm going to open it, and then I'm assuming this is set, so I'm going to click it again. It just basically triggers the lock again. So this is how you're supposed to program the fingerprint. It says here within 5 seconds, place your finger on the sensor 5 times. I tried that multiple times, and all it does is it just keeps engaging the lock, locking, unlocking. So really kind of strange that they list there's a set button and there isn't one. So other than that though, in all honesty, I think the fingerprint sensor is kind of a gimmick. I like the fact that it has a fingerprint or a kind of a flat, touch sensitive, we'll call it, button on here. I think it's pretty cool just to keep this locked and just kind of open it like that. But kind of gimmicky because, you know, the idea is for you to be able to access this with your fingerprint to keep little kids out of it. You know, if somebody's going to, you know, if you put a couple expensive watches in here and somebody breaks into your house, it's not going to prevent theft, right? You're not going to bolt this to your dresser or anything like that. So it is kind of gimmicky in my opinion, but nevertheless, I think it's pretty cool. The other weird part about this too is when I look on... No, actually, I stand corrected. It's just something else I was looking at. But not really sure on that. I'm going to press it again. Now, there is another button off to the side here. There's a little sensitive button right here. And I don't know what the point of this is. Like, maybe if I press this. Because even if I turn off the light, for instance, think of it like a refrigerator door. Like, you close your refrigerator door, it's off. You open it. This is to detect that the door is open, yet it didn't actually turn on any lights or anything like that. Now maybe, let me see if we try that again. Maybe unlock. So yeah, so opening, you figure when you open it that might illuminate the display or do something. I just don't see that it does anything. As far as the charging, when I look at the back here, low battery warning. So it does have a built-in battery. It says when you touch the sensor, the battery capacity is low. The red sensor will flash 3 times red. This is brand new out of the box, and I haven't seen this flash red. It says here charge indicator. While charging, the red indicator light will flash quickly. So I have this. I'm pressing charge. All right, so now it's flashing green, but it says here, when charging, the red indicator light flash quickly. So I don't see anything red glowing, but now that I press charge, the green is flashing. So maybe this manual's for maybe an older model, or maybe there's a different model where they're using the same manual. But nevertheless, I think, you know, for the price of this, it is kind of, and I always have to be honest with you guys, I do think it's kind of annoying when a company is going to, and just so you guys know the price on this, you were looking at $899. That's a lot of money for anything, really, right? Other than like a car. I mean, you can buy a car a lot of times for that, right? Maybe not nowadays, but you know what I mean. So I do think that's quite expensive. Now, I'm not saying that this isn't a beautiful watch box. I'm not saying that this isn't going to look fantastic on my dresser. And this is definitely something that, you know, if you have a nice watch and you want to put this in here, you know, by all means, this is going to look great. It's to be noted also that the sensors here, this touch screen on the bottom, we can prop this up. This is actually a touch screen as well. So in case you lose the remote, you can still operate the device, which I like. I don't like when companies give you a remote and then turn around and say, all right, well, now you have to, you know, use the remote. Just like new TVs nowadays don't have any buttons on them, a lot of them. And so anytime I'm trying to, you know, if you're at a buddy's house trying to change something on their TV, you almost have to have the remote. So I'm glad that they give you the ability to use this, even if the remote should fail. But it is kind of annoying to me that the instructions aren't specific to this. Now, there might be, full disclosure, there might be something I'm missing. I haven't spent tons of time trying to figure this out. I literally, like, you know, Christmas morning, got it, ripped it out of the box. And I didn't, of course, I don't really do the unboxings, but they basically wrapped it up. It's a cardboard box with foam in there, so there's no exterior packaging. It does come in sort of like a canvas bag of some sort. You know, no big deal. You know, you buy it for the box and the watch winder, not the presentation. But Overall, though, I think it's pretty incredible. Now, the rotation button is a little bit confusing as well in the back, because when you press that, I'm assuming that, let's say you turn this on and we start direction, we hit play. Whoops, we'll just go both. We hit play. Let me see what happens when you press the button on the back. Rotation. So pressing that button doesn't seem to do anything. Now, again, these are the kind of things that, and I know I'm repeating myself a lot here, but I find it annoying to have a rotation button on the back that, let's see here, that doesn't appear to really do anything. Like when the watch right now is rotating, I press that and it doesn't have any effect. It did when the watch was stopped, start the watch winding again, so I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. But, you know, overall, even despite these little, I don't know, kind of annoyances, as I call them, this thing is incredible looking. And I'm just going to unplug it for a second so you folks can, now see, it looks like, I'm really confused here. So it's, sorry, I'm going to give you some close-ups. So it says charging, and that did stop flashing. So I don't know, let me unplug it, see if it actually, so there's a little bit of a charge here. Maybe it doesn't, so I think, press rotation, let me see if it rotates with a chart on battery. Alright, so really confused on that, I don't get it, but what I can tell so far, the charge might only have to do with you being able to get into the watch box. So I don't think when this thing is unplugged, it's going to rotate on battery power. But again, that should have been pretty clearly explained in here, and I just don't, you know, I just don't see anything in here that tells you, you know, I think it'd be really nice with products if they say, hey, this watch winder is designed to work like this. It shouldn't have to be an influencer like myself receiving this and then trying to figure it out to pass that on to you. The instructions should be very clear. If I was writing the instruction on this and this was my watch winder that I came up with when I was selling, I'd be like, hey, you know, the onboard battery life is only for one thing. It's to allow you to get into the watch box in the event of a power failure, or if you just, you know, it becomes unplugged for whatever reason, so you don't get locked out. The fingerprint sensor isn't actually a fingerprint for storing your fingerprint on specific models, because I got to figure out how to do that despite my efforts in trying. So now, if I do find how to do that, you know, the companies always watch these videos. If they pass on any information, I'll put a clear explanation in the description so you guys know if you pick this up how it works. But let's just check out the box itself. I mean, it is really an incredible piece. It looks stunning. It's super classy. You know, I also like that they didn't really put any branding on it. Sometimes watch companies will put a lot of branding on their stuff, and that's not, you know, a lot of folks complain about the Invictas and saying, oh, I can't stand the Invicta on the side. A little branding's okay, but I like it. It's pretty clean. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't know if this is something specific to this company or if other companies make something like this, because usually companies will put some kind of branding on it, but, you know, nevertheless, these are not really complaints. They're just really observations, but absolutely fantastic. I mean, look at the quality, the construction, the stainless buttons on the back. It is really a great looking watch winder. And this is something that, if you have a nice watch collection, and of course you have money, because $899 is a good chunk of change. I hope to get my hands on their 12 series, and this holds 12 watches. And I think this is the one that really kind of sets their company apart, because it's exactly like this, but it holds a nice collection of watches. Most people who kind of get the watch bug are going to buy more than 2 watches. Even if you're, you know, one of the many watch snobs out there who, you know, buys expensive watches, usually, you know, even people who can't really afford them will eventually get their hands on another nice watch, right? So this is just, you know, if you're spending $10,000 for a watch, you have to, you know, to me, this isn't a lot of money to spend, right? For, you know, it's kind of relative, you know what I mean? But this also says here, if we look at the, we're going to go back to the 2 slot here. And it is available in a 2 slot, a 6 slot, and of course the 12. The 12 is going to run you $2,000. The 6 slot is going to run you $1,500, and this one's going to run you $899. Now again, it does include 1-year manufacturer warranty. It says here it's 360 degrees product test and quality inspection. I can't really argue with that. It looks of really great quality. You know, some of the things they list on here, protected by Insure Shield, that's not really, a concern, because a company is responsible if they ship something, whether they have insurance or not. If they ship you something broken, you are protected through your credit card company. So, but I encourage you to check out their website. It says there, it does say the fingerprint system, although I can't figure it out. 360-degree anti-magnetization and 10 dBs ultra quiet. Some people out there, I'm not really one of them. I sleep with a ceiling fan on, so this would not bother me in the slightest. Even a little bit of noise wouldn't bother me from a watch winder. But, some people are sensitive. We're all different, and that's okay. So what else do you get in the box? You get the watch winder. You get the US-UK power cord with adapter. I didn't see the adapter in there. I only see the US version, so not sure on that. The remote control and the telescopic holder. They mean the watch, the telescoping, what I call them spring-loaded watch holders, and 2 of the cushions. So again, I've had some of these watch winders where certain watches I try to put them just don't fit right on the actual spring-loaded watch holder. So that's it. I'm not going to read you everything listed on their site. I encourage you to check it out. Picture this on your dresser. It's going to look fantastic on mine. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, do not hesitate to ask. I'm here to help. As always, have a fantastic day and take care.